Alright. Okay. Damn, I just I feel like I am too far out. Okay. Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Iso, and welcome back to my channel. Yay! So in my last video, yeah, I had my glass on, and you guys could tell that the light reflection was really bothering. Like, if it bothered me, I'm pretty sure it bothered you guys. So if you guys are coming back for a second video, thank you so much. That means you guys believe in me. If you're new here, actually, if you're new here, wait until the video finishes, so maybe you could, gives you a little time to think if you want to subscribe. But if you haven't already, subscribe, like, comment. I'm the last one. Okay? Alright. I feel like I'm really blind. You see, guys? I can't see. Can you guys see me? Okay, so today we're gonna have my first guest. So this guest, I feel like I have to give it a little mini introduction. This guest is like really dear to my heart. Okay, I love her. Like, I can't even explain how much I love her. I admire her. I just want to be like her when I grow up. And but I don't associate myself with her. Just let me. Okay, we're not in the same category. Okay, so give a round of applause to my sister, Iris. Yay! I'm in the camera. I don't want people to think
I'm in the camera. Oh, yeah. I mean, but you're coming too out in the camera. Hey, guys.
Okay. So why are you in this channel? Or why did I invite my sister?
Because she asked me to. She said you're gonna be on it, and I said, "Damn, okay."
Okay.
Again, like, guys, I'm a private person.
Not today.
Don't like this video.
Like this video. So yeah, I did mention in my first video that I will bring guests, and I'll have people talk about whether it was anything that they want to talk about, or anything that shows recognition to something, or like that's what we say, recognition or light to something.
Yeah.
Show awareness to something. Like, everyone that comes here has a purpose of why they're in the channel. Okay. And my sister, I brought her here. I brought her here because I feel like my sister is to look cute, to outshine me. I brought her here because basically that, because she's like one of the most confident person I know. I wish I was like that. Like, I wish I was like that. But it took her a while.
She took years
to get to where she is. Okay, so she's gonna talk about her depression, what she's diagnosed with, and like a little bit of her story.
Everything? I'll be like, what?
Yeah, it's a lot, because it's like you guys see her now, you would not think, which is so crazy. Like, I look at her, if I did not know her, I would not think that she has all this that she's not diagnosed with. But this is why I believe in therapy. Therapy does wonders. But I also believe that you need to find your right one, because it took her a while. It wasn't like,
I went to 3 therapists, guys. 3 before I found my therapist that worked for me.
First, start with, what are you diagnosed with exactly?
Okay. So I'm 23. I'm turning 24 this year, and I've had depression since I was 11. So it started with depression, and then when I turned 15, I was officially diagnosed with depression, major depression, anxiety, PTSD, and yeah, that's about it. Those three I'm okay with telling the world. PTSD. So I have PTSD, I have major depression, and I have anxiety. Not severe anxiety, but I do have anxiety. Like, being right here on camera right now, I'm very anxious. I'm very anxious because I don't like putting my life out there, but I don't know. ISO has a purpose, and I feel like it's a good one. She's on a mission to change the world, and I guess have people know about it.
Not change the world, but make a little impact in the world.
She want to change the world. She's getting a little too humble, but she wants to change the world. It's who she is.
Okay, so you kind of answered one of my questions already, and like, what age were you diagnosed? Because you were diagnosed at 15.
I was diagnosed at 14. But 15 is when, like, they started kind of putting everything together for me, because I was hospitalized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we're gonna get to that. But when did you feel like you start? I don't want to say when do you feel like you knew that you were depressed, because other people don't know. I feel like, but when do you like start realizing like there was something
wrong with me?
Not right. Yeah, like, I don't want to use those. I don't want people to think there's something wrong with you. But like you knew there was like, why do I feel like this all the time? Like why do I have these? Like what was running through your like head? Like you say you were diagnosed at 11.
No, like I knew. They told me. Well,
I mean, but you said you started like your depression started at 11.
Yeah.
So what do you like remember at such a young age that you were feeling like? Were you feeling like, okay, like was it okay, I want to like die at 11, or was it like more like just I just feel sad now, and then it grew into that?
So I don't want to talk about our family life, but my depression started with my parents. They're not. How do I say this without like putting too much out there?
Kind of private when it comes to that family issue.
So I think the only thing I'm gonna say is that my depression started because of my parents, and it mostly ties to my dad. My dad is not the worst person in the world, but it started with him. Around the time I was 11, I had this image of my parents. I started paying more attention to things. And my mom had always said that even when I was little, I was very sensitive to like energy, quote unquote, you could say. I was very sensitive to that. So when I was 11 and I started paying attention more to my surroundings, I think like that image that I had of our family kind of broke. And I took it like, why me? You know, like why did I have to be the one to like
feel like this?
Yeah, feel like this, you know? So when I was 11, it just started as like, okay, like I was sad. Like, you know, I would get sad about certain things. But I didn't think it was like not normal, you know, because everybody gets sad, right? I knew something was like not right with me because I was sad. I think the first time I ever self-harm was when I was like 12, about to turn 13. And I remember it started by accident. Like I didn't mean to do it. I ended up hurting myself, and I've never been able to fully express how self-harming yourself kind of like helps you to take out all those pent-up feelings that you have. The first time that I felt like that relief was I accidentally cut myself doing something. I don't know, I was doing homework and I had scissors and I accidentally cut myself. And I just like that feeling of just like, I don't know, you have all of that bottled up inside, and because I've never really ever talked about my feelings even when I was young, I felt like, oh my God, this is the way. And I was like 12 or 13. And it started off with like just little things. Like I would just like nick myself. Like just little cuts. And I feel like once I did my first big cut, that's when I knew that something was wrong with me. Because, you know, you try to kind of like talk to people about it without fully telling people. So like when things would happen, I would like, you know, like I would look at you to see how you would react. And if you didn't react like how I reacted, that's how I knew something wasn't right. Because I saw would like, yeah, things would affect her, but like she would, I felt the way I saw it is like, okay, it affects her, and it's like she deals with it. For me, it was like, I can't, like I have to take out everything that I'm feeling. So when I would like look at her, and I would look at her hands, and I would look at her body, and I saw that she didn't have what I was doing, I was like, okay, yeah. Something is definitely wrong with me, because like nobody else is doing this but me. But then again, because I knew that I was doing it and it probably wasn't right, I didn't tell anybody. You know, I kept doing it without anybody knowing. I think until I was 14.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I was 14 before I told ISO. I told ISO.
Yeah, it comes to my like second or third question, but it kind of two questions. So like, what made you like, let's say, open up to me? And how did your family react to that? Because before you, I know it was like, this was kind of like foreign to everyone.
Like if you come from a Hispanic household, I think, you know, most people don't think that we get depression, or it's like not like they start telling you like, oh, necesitas una buena chinga, or like get out of it, like snap out of it. I think that's mostly I think that's mostly also why, because I grew up like that. Like I didn't think like this is normal. Nothing's wrong with me. I just like once my parents hit it out of me, it's gonna go away.
And like she needs to suck it up.
Yeah, that's how I saw it. Nobody in my house ever talked about depression or any of that shit, or they didn't even think it was a real thing.
So like, what made you, you know? like finally.
Why did I tell you?
Yeah.
You want to know something? I don't know why I told her. To be honest, you want to know something? No, I think now that I think about it, like whenever I think about why I told you, I think it just came out. Maybe like subconsciously, yeah, I wanted somebody to like tell me to stop because I knew it was getting to a point
or
where
like reaching out for help.
I think so. My subconscious, yeah, wanted me to stop, but I didn't want to stop. So I feel like when I told her, it was more like it just came out.
Like an impulse.
Yeah, because I feel like deep down inside of me, now that I'm older and now that I like evaluate my life, I knew that if I had not told her, I probably would not have lasted that year. I feel like that's why like my subconscious kind of wanted me to say it, because the way that I was going down that path, I probably would have taken it further than just hurting myself. And I feel like that's why my subconscious was like, okay, you need to tell the one person that you feel like you're comfortable with. And you know, at the time wasn't close with mom. I wasn't close with anybody. I was just close with ISO. Like I didn't talk to anybody but ISO. So it's like, I think my mind was just like, you know, just tell her and then we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah, and coming from that, like something, mind you, at that time, I don't know, because I was a teenager, you really don't notice. You don't pay attention. I feel like that would be one advice. Like, pay attention to your siblings or whatever, your surroundings. Because so I saw a video of us at a party. I don't want to say what, but I saw it was in party. You could really tell like she was depressed. Like she was 12 years old and she was really like, it was like, how could I have not how could I have noticed, but how could anyone not have noticed that this 12-year-old looks like?
I know, yeah. I saw that video too, and I was just like, it really was all over my face. And at the time, I guess back then I had a thing of not looking at myself in mirrors because, like I said, I was depressed. I didn't even like looking at myself. I just hated everything about myself. I did not look at myself in the mirror, so I didn't know I looked like that. So when I saw that video, I was like, damn, you guys let me go around looking like that. Like, I really looked like I was on this close to dying. Like, oh my God, I looked really bad. Like, Jesus, and nobody said anything. Like,
yeah, like, I mean, we laugh about it now, but in reality, it's just how we deal with, like,
yeah, I tend to laugh a lot about my...
Yeah, we're just joking.
I'm one of those people that jokes about my illnesses because that's just the way I cope.
No, but...
I can't take it too serious.
Yeah, because, but I was just like, wow, like, really nobody noticed. But yeah, let's go back to, so you opened up to me, right? And I remember...
And she told on me, guys. She told on me. She snitched.
Because I don't know. Because when you told me, how old were you when you told me? How old were you when you said something?
I was 14 when I told you. So basically from like 11 till I was 14, nobody knew that I was hurting myself. Nobody. I did not say it to anybody. Yeah, it was just... No, that's a lie. That's a lie. The only person that knew that I was hurting myself was one person. But I'm not going to say who it was because we were kind of on the same boat. So it was just one person. But like I said, like she... wasn't as bad as I was. Like, I did it every single day. All the time.
Yeah, I remember, I told my mom. And do you remember how the family or everybody, like, basically the family, the whole reacted? Do you remember how they
Why are you doing that? That's literally the question that they asked me. Like, I don't blame them, but I remember my mom asking me, like, why are you doing that? Stop. It was in my head the way I saw it was like
I don't want to clear up before, like, I don't want this to be like we're talking like bad about our family. I just wanted to know, like, this is real life and people and don't believe in it. So I want you to, like, that's why I feel like I just want you to tell your story, because you know how you overcame that, and like a family that, you know, didn't know what it was, because in reality at the time nobody really knew. Like, I knew it existed, but I didn't know, like, it was like, this is real?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't feel like... I mean, right now, like, my parents, my mom especially, has been the most supportive of me throughout this whole thing.
She grew.
She grew. I feel bad for my mom that I had to, like, kind of make her learn how to deal with someone like me. But back then, yeah, like, it was just... Everybody just asked me why I felt like that. I guess they didn't get it. They were like, why do you just stop doing it? And I think... What was it? I think after you told mom, I think the first thing she did was like, okay, if you're going to do that, let me go take you to the doctor and let's see what's up.
Yeah. But I'm actually glad they did that.
Yeah. I think that was... My mom was the smartest one to do that. Like, okay, fine, we're going to take you to the doctor to see what's wrong with you. you know, and I don't think she ever thought she would get what she heard that time.
No, you know what I remember? No, actually, I told her it was and I felt like they took it like, okay, like whatever, but it wasn't until like my mom finally took her, I think when you got drunk and you started spitting everything you said.
Yes.
And that's when they were like, okay, this is kind of serious. And my mom, I remember, took her the next day. Because you were venting about literally.
Oh yeah, I got drunk for the first time.
Don't drink
when you're a minor, okay? Just please don't drink when you're a minor. But you know, Hispanic parents, they drink young, so you know. And I drank with my family, so it was fine. And I was a lightweight. Obviously, I didn't drink, so I drank like 4 beers, and then that's it. I was just fucking drunk.
I don't even know what made you. I think maybe the depression made you like me. I want to feel something.
I think so. Maybe. I don't know. But I ended up drinking. Yeah, you're right.
Why? Because I don't think mom would never do that.
Yeah.
So must have been like, okay, because...
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right, yeah. They didn't take it that seriously. But I got drunk. Yeah, I got drunk and I ended up saying a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah, and then that's when
she took me, the next day. And then when they were doing my full exam, I think that's when my mom saw what I was actually doing to myself. I guess when after
was she there when they were checking your body?
Yeah, because I was a minor.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, I was little and they said like take it off and you know, I didn't want to at first. I was like, no. I was scared. I was like, no, because back then I used to wear a lot of sweaters, guys. Like, yeah, I wore a lot of sweaters. I never took off my sweater for anything. Or if I was at home, I had long sleeve shirts, so nobody would see. So that was like when the doctor was like, okay, we need to check. I was like, oh my God, nobody's ever seen me without my sweater.
Yeah.
To see.
I feel like no, but you say that you're sorry that mom had to go through that, but I feel like we had to all go through that. So to not be so naive and to be very like understanding and realize that this is real. Like this is real. People go through it, and to not be insensitive to what other people go through. And now, like you said, to see like Tanya and Lynn, like mom now knows like little signs, so she won't repeat them. I think she learned from that.
Yeah, she did.
You know, I feel like I learned from that. Like, okay, now it's like, look at my sister's like, not happening again.
Yeah, I'm like that. I'm like,
listen, you look a little dead today. Like, what's going on? Like, what's going on with those black circles? Like, you know, I don't trust it anymore.
That ass.
You know? But yeah, you grow. I feel like everyone grew. I felt like I'm sorry you had to go through that, but I feel like things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Me too. If I had to do it again, I'd probably do it again. Just so my parents. It taught my parents a very big lesson. I feel like
it changed them a lot after that.
Yeah.
Like how they dealt things and how
because that was like, I think because when she took me to the hospital, I didn't come home. I didn't come home. I stayed. I had to stay.
Because she was on suicide watch, right? That's how you call it, suicide watch?
No, they didn't. Because after I took off my stuff, when they saw the things, they were like, they had to keep me. But remember, I only stayed there, I think, for like a day or two. I wasn't there for long. It was just to like check, and you know, they gave me a therapist. I didn't like my therapist, so you know, when you don't want to talk about your feelings, we tend to become really good liars. So
does it come also to the fact that you're not ready to like...
You're not ready, and that's what I'm saying. You're not ready, and you become a very good liar. Because I lied to that therapist. Like, if I had not lied, I probably would have stayed in there a bit longer. But I lied because I was like, okay. In my head, I was like, I'm fine. Nothing's wrong with me. Like, it's a phase. It's gonna go away. Nobody's gonna stay like this forever. So, I lied, and I was like, I'm fine. They were like, are you gonna stop? And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna stop. You know, and in reality, I don't feel like that therapist really cared either, because he was like, you gonna stop? And I said, yeah, and he just believed me. He didn't ask me any more questions after that. He was just like, okay. And then I went home. I went home that day, and I didn't stop. I still kept doing it. Yeah,
so that was like kind of the semi-first time you got?
The first time.
And do you remember the second time?
The second time, I was 15 years old, and I was hospitalized that time. Then that's when I got diagnosed with PTSD, because I ended up having a really traumatic experience. Guys, trigger warning. So when I was 15, I was sexually assaulted. After that happened, like, my depression just got really super. It was bad before.
Do you feel like it was like that was your lowest point?
That was my lowest point.
Like, that was your lowest, like...
That was my lowest point.
You hit rock bottom at that time.
Yeah. I hit rock bottom. Like, my depression was already bad. And then I was sexually assaulted. So
And you weren't getting the help you needed because you had lied, right?
I had lied. They had put me on depression pills, but I got off of them. Because I was like, I'm fine now or whatever. So when that happened, when I turned 15, like my depression just got really bad. Like it got so bad after that happened. And then it got even worse because, you know, I was one of those people that actually did go and report. And fuck the NYPD, okay? Excuse my language. But I feel like that was the first time. I feel like that was my lowest point because that was the first time where I actually said everything. I did not lie. I did not hide my feelings. I said the whole truth. When I went down to that precinct to say what had happened to me, the little things that I remember, and to this day, I don't fully remember what happened to me, but I do have, you know...
Because like we feel, well, I think you really got drugged to get to that point if you only have one drink. There's no way. There's no way.
There was no... Like, I was supposed to be with people and I know, you know. Let's just put it that way. I was supposed to be with people that I know, people that I shouldn't have trusted, and I did. When I went down to that precinct, I said everything. Like, I gave those detectives everything. Like, I gave the place, I gave the time, who I got there with, what I did, what we were doing. I did not, like, anything that I remembered, I said. Like, I did not hold back on anything. I didn't feel embarrassed or whatever because I was like, no. Like, in that moment, I felt like this happened to me, but I'm not gonna let it happen to somebody else. That's how I thought when that happened to me. So when I went, and the only thing I could tell you is that they basically said I was lying. Like, they full on told me none of that happened. And they were like, I don't know what was going through their mind. I remember they said, like, that they didn't believe, the way that they were acting and the way that they were talking to me, they didn't believe me at all. And they said that I probably regretted what I did because I got caught cutting school because I didn't go to school that day.
But I feel like, I think this is why also, like, it leads to people not reporting stuff. Yeah. Because they already feel, some people, like you said, at that moment you didn't feel that way, but some people already feel ashamed, and then to speak it out and then to have someone tell them they don't believe it. That's just so discouraging to people. Yeah,
so after that, like, literally, once I heard that,
who knows, I shut up. They did it too.
No, I shut up. They kept asking me questions and I didn't answer anything anymore because it was like, I literally gave everything to you. Anyways, yeah. It doesn't trigger me anymore. I feel like I've gotten to a point where I get very frustrated about it now, that especially because I'm studying criminal justice. And I'm taking a lot of classes that involve police work and stuff like that, and mostly here in New York City. It just pisses me off because it's like there was so much that they should have done that they did not do. Now that I think about it, they just wanted to go home. They wanted to go home. They wanted to have a short day. And my case would have been a long day. And they just didn't want that.
Yeah, because they had to. It would have been a case, and that's probably what they didn't want. Case.
But so after that, like that was my lowest point. That was my rock bottom because I felt like for the first time ever, I finally talked. I finally said the truth about what happened to me, how I was feeling, and it was like nobody believed me. It was like a big slap to the face, especially with somebody that was dealing with depression. It was a huge slap to the face. Like, that basically told me, never ever talk about how you're feeling, ever. Like, don't open up ever again because, one, nobody's gonna believe you and nobody's gonna understand.
Do you still regret not saying anything, or you feel like, no, it's good that I said something?
Honestly, I don't regret it, but I just don't feel like it did anything. Yeah, so after that was like my rock bottom, and I ended up going to the hospital again.
Sorry.
And I was in there longer, not that long, but I was in there for a while.
Yeah, because were you, like, suicidal like this? You wanted to end your
life? That's it. Like, after that, for me at that moment, I didn't see any reason to just keep going. Like, if I hated myself before, I fully hated myself then. Like, I could not stand the sight of myself at all. Like, I just hated everything about me. I don't want to be here anymore. I was just like, no, that's it. I'm tired. I just felt like everything, nothing was good. I felt like nothing was good. Like, even before that, like, I felt like there was days where I had, like, good days. I felt like I had good days. And after that, I had no good days. Everything was just bad. Like, there was no point for me. It was just like, everything is bad. Every day, like, you know, for a while, I woke up, I couldn't sleep after that. I didn't sleep. I had constant nightmares. Like, my mom would have to wake me up, or my mom would have to sleep with me. And it was just like every single day was a bad day. I was really, like, it was really bad. Like, I couldn't get on a train that was related to the place that I was at. Like, for me, it was like the 4 train. I couldn't get on the 4 train. The sight of the 4 train scared the shit out of me, okay? And then, like, there was just certain things, like, little things that I knew were there that day that I remembered. Forget about it. Like, I couldn't, like, if I went out, I could not go out by myself anymore. You know, that's it. I was just scared. And I didn't even want to go to school anymore because I would have to pass by the station that I got off that day. And it was like, how do I get to school? So it's like, yeah.
I remember.
And then
going to school.
I stopped going to school. And especially because one of the people that was involved, his school was across the street from my school. So my mom had to call my school and kind of tell them what was going on. And every time I went to school, I had to check in with security. Or my mom would let them know when I was coming so security could be outside when I was going in. But, like, at the time, I didn't tell anybody. I didn't even tell my best friends what was going on. So it was, like, it was a lot. Like, I stopped going to school. I think I was home for, like, a good month from school before I actually decided to go back because I couldn't do it.
With everything that happened, all that you were feeling, do you remember when you started, like, I don't want to say recovered, but, like, having some hope, like finding some point, or like, because you were in a dark hole, and how were you, like, climbing up and getting out?
I didn't, to be honest. Like, even after I was hospitalized and I was in there for a while, and I remember after that happened to me, when I got back on medication, remember they upped my dosage a lot. They upped it a lot. Like, you know, if you're somebody that takes medication for depression and PTSD and things like that, you know what a high dosage is. And that high dosage that you're thinking of, I had it. I think after that, those medications that I was taking made me feel nothing. Like, I was not sad. I was not happy. I wasn't anything. I was just there. Like, I really didn't feel, I feel like the days were just going by and I was just existing. I didn't feel like I was really feeling anything. So after that, I think I came out of the hospital, and then my mom, I think I didn't have a therapist. I think mom was seeing that I wasn't doing, like, well without a therapist. So she got me my third therapist. And that was my therapist that I clicked with. But she had patience with me, guys. Like, seriously. I feel like I'm super grateful to her, because if it wasn't for her, I tell that to everybody who asks me. Like, I 100% support therapy, because if it wasn't for her, I would not be here. And I gave her a hard time, like a super hard time at the beginning. Like, I made her sit with me through an hour session in silence.
Okay. So 16, you met Nicole.
Yeah, so I was 16 when I met my therapist, Nicole, the one that I connected with really well. So for like a whole year, I didn't really open up to her that much. Like, I think for the first few sessions, I didn't talk to her. I was just quiet. I don't know why. She just kept telling me, I'll see you next week. every week, you know, in silence. I'll see you next week. And I think I was waiting her out. Like, she's going to get tired of me and she's just going to be like, I can't work with her. You know, I think I was just waiting for that, because at that point, I thought the worst of everyone. Like, I didn't trust anybody. I didn't talk to ISO anymore. I didn't talk to my mom. I didn't talk to anybody. Like, yeah, I would talk to them, but not like, how you doing? I'm fine. Okay. You know, I didn't talk to anybody about my feelings or anything like that anymore. When I was 15, like, I was not close to anybody. I didn't have a person. I started with my school life, which wasn't that much, like, school drama that I felt like wasn't important. So that's how I started talking to her. And then I got comfortable just talking to her about my school stuff. And then I guess little by little, I think one day something happened at home, and I was like, I'm gonna tell her. I was like, I'm gonna tell her, and I'm gonna see what she says. And I think that was the first time that I ever told somebody and they understood my feelings. I feel like whenever I told people at home things, it was like you saw the point of view of everybody. Like, everybody's perspective was taken into consideration. But I felt like nobody ever paid attention to my feelings and how I was feeling. And after I told her something that happened at home, she paid attention to my feelings. She paid attention to how I was feeling. And she kind of like made me see that what I was feeling wasn't wrong. You know, I feel like she didn't downplay how I was feeling. Like, she said, it's okay for you to feel like that. And I felt like at that time, I really needed that. I really needed somebody to tell me that it was okay to feel like that.
Like, there wasn't something wrong with you.
Yeah, because by that point, I was like, I'm just a lost cause. Like, I'm just going to be like this forever. Like, that's it. I felt at that moment in time, I felt like I was damaged. I was just never going to be good enough. I was not going to be a good enough person to even actually be a person. So, like, when she told me that, it was just like, it was a big thing. And I feel like just from that one little thing that she said, that my feelings matter, like, That's it. I feel like that was what kind of like was like, all right, then there's
open up to her.
Yeah, I feel like I could open up to her, but it also opened like I'm not damaged.
Like,
yeah, like I'm not damaged, and I'm not.
I could come out from this.
Yeah, like it was a small hope, but it was more like I'm not crazy, you know, because back then, you know, you're crazy if you go to therapy. There's something really wrong with you. So it was like, okay, I'm not crazy. I just have a lot of issues that I am not ashamed now to say that, yeah, sometimes I need help. Okay, I cannot deal with certain things by myself. I can't. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with not being able to you know, deal with things on your own.
Okay, so then let's go from there. Everything, would you feel like
everything was good? And then, oh my God, guys!
It's like the whole like roller coaster up
it's a really big roller coaster.
To see where she is now.
Yeah, so from 15 to I was 18, guys, everything was going good. Like I feel like therapy was just going great. With me and my therapist, she helped me. I had a phobia of clowns, and she helped me get over that. But yeah, so with Nicole, she helped me get over my phobia. Trigger points that were very bad for me, she helped me get over those. Like, I was finally able to take the train. I was finally able to look at things and just distinguish them from just being things. Like, they can't hurt me, you know, things like that. And she helped me, you know, kind of navigate the fact, the people that did what they did to me, they weren't in prison. Nothing ever happened to them. So she kind of helped me navigate how to, like, make myself feel secure, even though they were out there, and I knew they were out there. And especially because one of them went to school across from me, she helped me kind of deal with the fact, like, if I ever ran into him, she helped me make scenarios in my head of how to get out of those situations. Kind of like calm myself if it were to ever happen. Everything was going fine. Like, even with my medication, because things were going so well with her, we were able to lower down my dosage of medication. There were certain medications I didn't have to take anymore. It looked
like she was going down.
It was, yeah, I felt like it was going really good. I felt like I was finally getting to a point. And when I was 18, so it was like 15 to 18, everything was just going great. And when I was 18, we were getting close to taking me off medication completely, because I did always expressed, and I still express, I hate being on any type of medication when it comes to depression, because I feel like it helps you not to feel all the things that make you feel sad and make you feel that way, but it takes away everything else. And I never liked the feeling of being on them. I don't vouch for it. That's why when I tell people, I always tell people, if you feel this way, please see a therapist, because once it gets to the point where it's really bad and they kind of tell you have to be on medication, it sucks. I didn't like that feeling either. Like, when I would say, like, no, I'm just gonna take therapy, even after what happened to me, I was like, I'll just take therapy. They're like, no, that wasn't an option for me. And I understand now why it wasn't an option for me, because, you know, even though therapy was helping me, there was a lot of things that I still need medication for. Because, you know, even with therapy, I still had those strong urges to still hurt myself, and the medication kind of helped me stop with that. And then the anxiety pills that I took, you know, I needed those, because even if I wasn't hurting myself, I was constantly, like, I was very fidgety, or I felt like I would, like, scratch myself to the point where I would make myself bleed. And I wasn't trying to hurt myself. I was just so anxious. I needed pills to sleep. I needed pills for my nightmares. And I definitely needed those for a while. So, but yeah, I tend to don't recommend any type of medication. I feel like if you feel like you're starting to have an issue, you should just definitely go see a therapist before it gets way worse.
You know? I felt like Mom was the one that dealt with all your, like, anxieties, your panic attacks.
Yeah, my mom.
Like, she was always, like, just there dealing with things.
Yeah, she dealt with. My mom's a super mom, guys.
Yeah, she was always just there.
Yeah, because like I said, everything was going good. And then... Dun, dun, dun.